Dhamma sermon in English, and we invite Venerable Dr. Gangadwila Chandima for our very chanting and the whole Kathina ceremony. So he accepted our invitation with compassion. Now, on behalf of Venerable monks and devotees who present here and also join with us online, we would like to invite Dr. Gangadwila Chandima to deliver his Dhamma speech. සියලු දෙනාම සාදුකාරයක් පාත්වන්න.
කටිනට්ඨ පරික්ඛාරං වාසදානංච උත්තමං බුද්ධප්පමුඛ සංඝස්ස දානං ධම්මස්ස ච ලේඛනං කෙත්ත දානංච බුද්ධස්ස පටිමා කරණම් පිච කරණං වච්ච කුටියා අට්ඨ පුඤ්ඤානි උච්චරේති. Venerable Omari Nandaloka, who is presiding this gathering, especially this Kathina robe offering ceremony. Dear Venerable Nuke Galaya Jinananda Thera of the Ottawa, Hilda Jayawardenaramaya Buddhist Monastery, and the resident monks, Venerable Kirinde Vijita Thera and Mahagama Sunita Thera. Dear Kathina sponsors and devotees and friends who are watching online. So the stanza that I just recited covers 8 great meritorious activities in the Buddhist history. As an introduction to the talk, I would like to recall what the other Bhantes been talking before the Dana time. They've been talking about why the Vassa ceremony was needed and what happened during the Vassana time, and then what are the benefits and the post-Kathina period and all that. So I would like to see at this point the Kathina ceremony from a different perspective. And I know Bhante Nandaloka also mentioned kind of a loose translation about this stanza in his Dhamma talk. So in this stanza, as I told you at the beginning, it talks about these 8 great meritorious activities. But there is a small thing that we have to make clear. Atta puññāni vuccare. The Pali reading goes as puñña, in other words I would say merit, but in Sinhala we call it atamaha kusala. So we have to kind of separate out, distinguish what is kusala, what is puñña. So in Pali we know what is a skillful action and what is a merit. So that's kind of a fundamental thing that we have to do before we dig into the stanza, the meaning of the stanza. We know in the Sutta Pitaka, the Pali words called kusala and puñña have been given, very similarly. I would say they are very synonymous. But when you go to Abhidhamma, it looks to us that it is not that. There is a clear distinction between the Pali word called kusala and puñña. If you go into the Chitta section of Abhidhamma, in the Dhammasangani, we can see that the primary type of thoughts one individual makes, they fall into, especially when it comes to the wholesome side, they become kusala. And there is no word called puñña to understand the wholesome things people do. But in the Sutta Pitaka we know, sometimes it talks about kusala, sometimes the same activity is being named as puñña. So we are kind of cryptic about the background of these two words because of that. In our understanding, kusala simply means if you gonna do any activity, wholesome activity, if you're gonna do that particular skillful action, if you're gonna do without lobha, dosa, and moha, that falls into this kusala perspective. That is not easy. It's like it's not that easy to fulfill that kind of action without lobha dosa moha, because when we talk about the gravity and this preponderance of the greatness of Kathina, people fall prey to sansara. I want to be a universal monarch, Chakravarti, king. I want to be somebody who doesn't want to attain Nibbana or Sotapanna at the very least. So we fall prey to sansaric benefits. Actually, we need comforts until we attain Nibbana. So that's the main thing. So you need these comforts, even if you don't become a universal monarch or etc. But you need some comfort. Otherwise, you can't make up your mind to think about, I want to cross the samsara. If you want to cross the samsara, you should have a decent human birth, which of course you already got, and you were able to even migrate to a country where things are normal to you. I mean, the requisites, 4 requisites. So basically, kusala in that perspective means if somebody can perform, execute any activity without greed, hatred, and delusion. I mean, in other words, with dana, with loving kindness, with generosity, with loving kindness, and with wisdom, that will become a kusala. And if you closely examine the other side of any action, the resulting nature of any kusala activity itself is pina or puñña. You don't need to aspire, you don't need to wish that, because it comes in a package, right? So let's say if you perform Kathina with the perspective of alobha dosa moha, because you definitely getting all these comforts, and then you are making a lot of good kusalas. So that's the main purpose of this understanding between kusala and puñña. And if you take a look at the other 7 great skillful activities, I would say Kathina is the first one, so offering a Kathina. And those who can't commit to a Kathina, they can join in with this ceremony by providing items for the wish yielding tree. It is said that this tree was fundamentally located in the Asura world, and the Sakka went to Asura world, and then he brought it to the Taotinsa. And it is said that this tree has been long believed a place where people can wish, and the wishes will come true at a certain period of time. So they can join in the Kathina ceremony by being a party of the partner of the wish yielding tree. The second great kusala is offering 8 requisites, Atapirikara. So now you all have offered a lot of Atapirikas. I think there will be more people who will be offering Atapirikaras because they could not show up today for different reasons, COVID-19 situation. Katinatta Parikkarang Vasadanam. If somebody is able to offer a shelter towards, could be monastics, could be lay people, that is also a huge, great kusala activity. So I'm trying to tell you that Kathina ceremony is not a standalone practice. It comes in a package. So you have to equally try to perform these 8 as much as you can. Maybe you might not be able to do all that, but you are trying your best to do. The third one is offering shelter towards maybe the needy, maybe the poor people, maybe those who are poverty-stricken, and especially if you can do it to the monks and monastic, that will be very great too. And then the fourth one is Buddha Pamukha Sangha Sadhana. So you are offering dana to the Buddha and the venerable monks, followed by him. And you could perform 3 of these great kusala activities so far. So Kathinas, you offered a Kathina robe, and you offered Atapirikara, and you offered dana to the Buddha and the venerable monks. Buddha is not here to physically receive the benefits, but you are contemplating his great, great virtues. And then Dhammasacha Lekana, trying to write the Dhamma books. If you can write the Dhamma books, you are sponsoring, the financial cost of Dhamma book written by a scholarly monk or a scholarly professional about the Dhamma. So that is also a great, kusala karma, because it says Sabbadana and Dhammadana Janati. So, offering Dhamma excels all the other offerings. So we have to sort of look at Kathina with that thing, because Dhamma is what we are, giving to other people in all these activities. And then it says, Buddha Pamukha Sangha Sadanang Dhamma Satalekanam. Then we also understand that there is another thing about real estates. Ketta Danan cha Buddhasa. So if you finish, dividing and giving your properties at some point, then you can think about the monastics. There are people who don't think about their kids, their children. They want to give everything to the temple. Because Buddha clearly mentioned that you have to take care of your kids, you have to give something to them. If things are okay, if things are made sure, then you can think about, because otherwise they might be in trouble too, right? Offering or helping a monastery, building a monastery like that. Also, Patima Karanampicha. We know that a lot of people doubt about Buddha statues. We know that there were Buddha statues even at the Buddha's time. King Kosala offered, he made a Buddha statue made of sandalwood. So, because the moment you look at the Buddha statue, you are trying to contemplate on the great qualities of the Buddha. So it helps many more folks to come up with a lot of good, wholesome thoughts by looking at a Buddha statue. So offering a Buddha statue, maybe helping bear the cost of a Buddha statue. So that great kusala activity. And Karanang Vachakutiya. So Karanang Vachakutiya means constructing, building washrooms and bathrooms maybe. So it's also a good thing, because we know there are a lot of people in this world who don't have the minimum basic facilities when it comes to washrooms. So if we can think about not even the monastics, but also all the people in the world as much as we can, that is also a great kusala karma. So when you take a look at these 8, it comes in a package. So don't think that Kathina ceremony is a standalone practice. So try to do all that as much as you can. Probably you might not be able to fulfill all that, but at least you know that fulfilling these 8 will take you to the highest. With that said, I want to add that now you offered the Kathina robe to the monk. That is one donation, and then one generosity. And the monks, having decided the most eligible monk out of them, they offered that to the particular most eligible monk. So now it's kind of a 2-tier offering when it comes to Kathina. And then you offered Kathina ceremony, Kathina robe, as well as the kapparuka, which you call the vishilding tree, and all the pirikara. So it's a perfect time now to have a great wish. May all the good karmas you've been accumulating from the time that you invited monks to take vassa, and during the time that you've been participating in all Dhamma discussions, Sutta discussions, Buddha Puja and all that. And yesterday you all listened to a chanting, and then today you offer the Kathina robe. So let's contemplate on all these good karmas and make this great, huge wish. May all the good karmas we've been accumulating so far help all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thank you.
We offer our sincere thanks to Dr. Gangadula Chandima for having such a nice Dhamma talks on the 8 great meritorious deed, and he explained the difference and the similarities of both puñña and kusala, and it is a very clear Dhamma sermon. Thank you very much, Venerable Sir, for making this Dhamma very clear for our devotees.